Hi everyone, and welcome to Open Forensics Lab. In this video, we are talking about impromptu speaking. Impromptu can sound intimidating because the event asks you to prepare a speech very quickly. In many tournament settings, you will be given a small set of prompts, often 2 or 3 options. These prompts may be quotations, single words, or even questions. You will choose one prompt, spend a short amount of time preparing, and then deliver a speech, often with about 2 minutes of preparation time and 5 minutes speaking. But impromptu is not just making something up, it's an opportunity to make an argument. That argument might be about human nature, leadership, courage, justice, fear, failure, or change. Your job is to take the prompt, interpret it, develop a clear thesis, and support that thesis with arguments. In this video, we'll walk through 5 parts of impromptu speaking: interpreting the prompt, choosing a structure, building an argument, using examples effectively, and practicing before tournaments. First, understand the prompt. When you receive your prompts, choose the prompt that makes the most sense to you and gives you the clearest argument. For example, you might receive a quotation like Helen Keller's, "Walking with a friend in the dark is better than walking alone in the light." You do not need to explain the entire life of Helen Keller. You do not need to analyze every word in the quotation. Instead, ask, what is the larger idea? This quotation could be about friendship, it could be about community, it could be about facing uncertainty with support. So your interpretation might be support matters more than certainty. That interpretation can become the foundation of your speech. Try to keep your interpretations clear and simple, 5 to 6 words. Second, decide on your stance. A strong impromptu speech should have a thesis. The thesis tells the audience if you agree or disagree with the prompt and what your speech will prove. For example, today we will see that Helen Keller is right. Support matters more than certainty. Keep in mind that speakers can also disagree with a prompt and prove why it's not true. Third, choose a structure. 2 common impromptu structures are sometimes called 3x1 and 2x2. In a 3x1 structure, you have 3 main points, and each point is supported by one main example. The structure looks like this: introduction, main point 1, main point 2, main point 3, and conclusion. This works well when you have 3 strong claims and 3 strong examples. In a 2x2 structure, you have 2 main points, and each main point uses 2 examples. The structure looks like this: introduction, main point 1, example 2, main point 2, example 1, example 2, conclusion. This works well when you want fewer claims but more development. Whichever structure you choose, the introduction should include an attention getter, your prompt exactly as it's written, your interpretation, your thesis, and a preview of points. In the body of the speech, use transition statements to separate each main point. Your conclusion should restate your prompt, reiterate your thesis, review your points, and end with a memorable closing thought that connects back to your attention getter. Third, let's talk about developing content for the body of your speech. This is where I want to credit Professor and Coach Andrew Morgan, who suggests thinking of impromptu main points as claims and using examples as the evidence for those claims. In other words, your main points should not just be example labels. Instead of saying first, Lord of the Rings, second, the Civil Rights Movement, and third, my grandma. Make each point a claim for an argument. For instance, your introduction might include a preview of points that sounds like this: there are 3 key reasons Helen Keller is right. First, because support helps people endure uncertainty. Second, because support gives people courage. And third, support helps people imagine a better future. Then, during the body of the speech, your examples become evidence that proves each claim. This strategy makes impromptu feel less like a list of stories and more like a real speech. Fourth, use examples effectively. Impromptu draws on common knowledge, popular culture, current events, history, and human nature. Good examples might come from movies, books, history, politics, sports, music, science, technology, current events, famous people, or other big categories. But try not to make all your examples come from the same category. If all 3 examples are Disney movies, the speech may feel narrow. A stronger speech might use 1 example from history, 1 from popular culture, and 1 from public life. For example, if your thesis is that support matters more than certainty, you could use a historical movement where people relied on community to endure uncertainty, a fictional character who acted courageously because of friendship, and an organization building a better future through social support. The variety makes your argument feel broader and more convincing. When using examples, do 3 things. Name the example clearly, be specific, explain the example briefly, answer who, what, when, where questions, and connect it back to the claim. Explain how and why it illustrates your argument. Do not assume the audience will make the connection for you. If your claim is support gives people courage to act, explain how the example proves that point. Fifth, practice before tournaments. Even though impromptu is limited prep, you can absolutely prepare for it. One way to practice is to build an example bank. Consider using a warm-up worksheet where you list movies, TV shows, books, current or historical events, famous people, and other topics you already know well enough to describe in detail. Could you talk about each of those topics for at least 1 minute? This is useful because impromptu rewards flexible knowledge. You don't need to know everything. You need a set of examples you can adapt to many different prompts. For instance, a movie, historical event, athlete, public figure, or hobby might connect to prompts about change, fear, justice, education, loss, greed, attitude, or obsession. You can also practice by giving yourself random prompts and taking 1.5 to 2 minutes to outline. During prep time, try this simple process. Choose the prompt, interpret the prompt, write a thesis, and create 2 or 3 claims depending on which structure you're using. Choose examples that prove those claims. Then identify an attention-getting strategy for your opener. Plan on how you will end the speech with impact. Speakers are allowed to use a note card, but do not try to write the whole speech word for word. You don't have time. Instead, write keywords that jog your memory while speaking. Delivery is another important aspect of impromptu speaking. There's a separate video that discusses principles of delivery for platform and limited preparation speeches. The most important thing to remember is that impromptu is not about having the perfect answer. It's about creating a clear argument under time pressure. Choose a prompt, make a claim, support it with examples, and explain why those examples prove your point. Thanks for watching Open Forensics Lab.